let's talk appraisals. Let's talk about that one, because that one tends to be now, it's a thing now.
It is a thing now.
Before.
Because it didn't used to be a thing.
Right.
But when the market gets really active and listing prices or sales prices are going up, appraisals don't always keep up with that, because
Correct.
appraisers are looking at the history. They're looking at what's happened in the last 6 months, they're not projecting what's going to be happening in the future. So if it can happen that an appraisal could come in low.
And as your buyer's agent, we can put in a document that if we don't think the house is going to appraise, we can put in a safety net, an addendum for the appraisal, that if the house does not appraise, then you can terminate and get your earnest money back. Yeah.
There's so many things in our contracts that protect the buyer, and they're really much more buyer friendly than there are seller friendly.
Right.
And there are things that we will do to help you get your earnest money back. But there are situations where if you terminate, you won't get your earnest money back. In fact, we just had a situation like that happen.
Right.
With a buyer that after they went pending decided that they
didn't want to
move forward, and the
and we've had this happen very rare.
Very
rare.
Very rarely.
Like, we've had one situation where somebody had already moved, and we were 5 days from closing, and they just stopped.
Yeah.
And said not going to go forward.
Right.
And they were okay with losing their earnest money. And it's really hard for the sellers, because we're so empathetic to that. We don't know how to, how do you say to someone, they changed their mind, they're not buying anymore.
But back to appraisals.
Back to
appraisals.
Yes, back to appraisals.
So what do we do if an appraisal comes in low and we're on the buy side?
Okay.
What do we do?
So then now we go back to the seller and we say, we have some choices to make. You can lower the price, or people can walk away, or, not often, but sometimes they'll ask the buyer to come in with money towards the delta.
With the extra cash.
With the extra cash.
Which you can do if you can afford it, but you don't have to do that. So what we're going to try to do is negotiate with the seller to have them lower the price.
Right. And that's normally what happens.
Right. We can also, if we think that the appraisal is wrong,
we can ask for a review evaluation.
We can ask for a review evaluation. That is challenging to get one, but it's not impossible. And as long as we have the data that we need, let's say that the appraiser, in our opinion, used the wrong comps.
Right.
We can say, okay, you use these comps, but these are the comps you should have used.
Or there's more to support what we're saying.
Right.
And
right. Maybe there are upgrades to the house that the appraiser wasn't aware of.
Which another thing is that we can also, like if we're, on the listing side, I know it's appraisals up at the other side, but if we feel that if we have some nervousness about the house not appraising, we can meet the appraiser, leave some data on the, the counter or something, say, look, this is what we used. These are the upgrades, just for you to have for your knowledge. I've had appraisers call me and ask me, how did you get to this number?
Right. Yeah, I've had that too.
Yeah.
Especially now, since the market is shifting.
Right.
We're seeing that happen a little more often.
Right. And that helps sometimes meet value. So anything else on appraisals?
I don't think so.
Okay.